Listen, I've met Tom Hanks a couple of times, and he was very kind and very lovely, and his wife was exceptionally lovely. But when he was on Saturday Night Live...
I hated it too, and I said it on my show. I know.
What?
I hated it. Wearing the MAGA hat, not shaking hands with a black person.
Right.
And that's when I thought, you people don't know MAGA people.
Nope.
I mean, they have their issues, and I certainly have my issues with them, but they're general. I mean, of course, there's some racists everywhere who are that bad, but generally, all the MAGA people I know have no problem shaking hands with the black person. You're just hysterical, and you're not helping. And
nope,
I agree.
Not at all.
That was not
deplorable squared.
Not helping.
Bill Maher is torching woke Hollywood, and it's turning into an all-out firestorm. The sharp-tongued comedian is done swallowing the smug, self-righteous lectures pouring out of Tinseltown, and now he's swinging back hard. His latest swipe at Hollywood favorite Tom Hanks sent a loud, unmistakable message. No one is off-limits in Maher's full-blown war on the woke agenda. And trust me, I've got every jaw-dropping moment lined up. First, the clip that lit the fuse, then Maher's blistering verbal takedown.
If more folks went to church, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in now.
You know what? I agree with you, Doug. I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
No,
oh, no. Oh, no. It's just a handshake. Yeah, it's just a handshake. Yeah, all right. You're welcome in Black Jeopardy anytime.
All right. Well, thank you, my brother. Maybe I'll start a show for you to come on, and we'll call it White Jeopardy.
This is the narrative woke Hollywood keeps trying to slip into the public's mind, that MAGA supporters and Trump voters are nothing more than crude, racist stereotypes. It's slick, smug, and wrapped in the shine of so-called comedy. When the clip went public, the usual defenders rushed in saying, "Relax, it's just a joke," implying that anyone who didn't laugh must be humorless. But here's what they always leave out. Comedy isn't harmless. Like film or music, it has cultural power. It shapes perception, reinforces bias, and influences public opinion, especially when it comes from the mainstream. When the same group is always the punchline, that's not satire. That's propaganda. This exact issue came up on a recent episode of Club Random, and Bill Maher didn't hold back.
You people don't know MAGA people.
Nope.
I mean, they have their issues, and I certainly have my issues with them, but they're general. I mean, of course, there's some racists everywhere who are that bad, but generally, all the MAGA people I know have no problem shaking hands with the black person. You're just hysterical, and you're not helping. And
nope,
I agree.
Not at all.
That was
deplorable squared.
Not helping.
This is the far-left playbook. Twist the truth, demonize the opposition, then walk away without accountability. They went after Trump for years. Now it's J.D. Vance. Before that, Tom Homan. It's never about fairness or facts. It's about pushing a narrative no matter who gets smeared in the process. And unfortunately, Tom Hanks has fallen right in line. Some people argue he's just an actor reading lines. But let's be real, Hanks isn't desperate for work. He's one of the most powerful figures in Hollywood. If something didn't sit right with him, he could have walked away without hesitation. He chose not to. And that choice speaks volumes.
I'm telling you, as a liberal, I don't like it. Again, because lying offends me. I'm a comedian. When the premise isn't real, the joke is not going to work. The premise has to ring true. That premise doesn't ring true. It might have rang true, I don't know, X years ago. It doesn't now. So, but that's where we are. Everybody has to just play the hate card because that's what gets clicks. That's what gets you loved by your side.
Right, your side, 100%.
Yeah,
and there's safety there.
They just want to feel that, oh yeah, that's right. He's
Let's be honest, the left has turned attacking Trump into an art form, and they practice it daily. Just look at the media frenzy during Trump's court appearances. MSNBC went into full meltdown mode, running nonstop coverage like it was a political Super Bowl. Cameras followed his every step. That wasn't journalism, it was theater. They genuinely believed this obsessive coverage would guarantee an election win. But instead of destroying Trump, it exposed their desperation and how disconnected they are from the real issues everyday Americans care about.
It reminded me of an abuser who goes back to a woman and puts on the mask. I'm charming. I'm totally loving. I will never hurt you. You can trust me. I get you. We're together. We're a partnership. But then as soon as the woman does something, could be anything, to set him off, the veil comes down and you realize this has been someone pretending. This whole thing that's been wooing me in has been an act. And oh my God, I was almost fooled. Thank God I saw the moment of reality. That's what that thing was to me, because Saturday Night Live hates conservatives.
What Megyn Kelly is really pointing out is this: Tom Hanks may never have respected conservatives or the MAGA movement at all. For years he played America's lovable everyman, not just on screen but off it too. Smiling, gracious, untouchable. Now that mask has slipped, the contempt isn't subtle anymore. As for the network, let's not pretend this is surprising. They've made their agenda clear. Balance isn't the goal. Division is. But Hanks hurts the most, because people expected better from him.
Veil was down and we saw what they really think of all of us, not just MAGA, but anybody on the right. They think you're a racist. They think you're all the ists, for all sorts of psychological reasons that we've gone into and don't need to here. But there was that piece of it. And then there was how deeply offensive it was for Tom Hanks in particular to participate in this skit. Tom Hanks, who started off on this stupid show called Bosom Buddies, which, I mean, maybe it was ahead of its time because it was about two men who dressed as women in order to get the living arrangements they wanted. So it was guys dressed, sort of in drag. And he was hilarious and he was a nobody. And it was a stupid show that made us fall in love with him because he was so funny and bumbling.
This is how the woke mob works. It overwhelms you with outrage, strips away logic, and pulls you into a fantasy detached from reality. One minute you're thinking independently, the next you're parroting talking points and attacking strangers because it's fashionable. That's groupthink. And once you're no longer useful, they discard you instantly. Just look around: Whoopi Goldberg constantly courting controversy, Sunny Hostin alienating half the country, Drew Barrymore turning into a PR disaster. The mob loves you when you repeat the script. Step out of line and you're done.
And thanks to a nation, of audiences that included those guys who look like that, with the t-shirt, without the sleeves, that are maybe a little rough around the edges, who aren't as coiffed as he is with the perfect 3/4 zip, sweater, with their MAGA hat on. And yeah, Tom Hanks, their Southern rural accent, you absolute effing snob, went to your movies and made you a billionaire. And your thanks to them is to mock and belittle them in the 2 minutes you had to portray what they might be like. Shame on you.
Tom Hanks disappointed millions of fans who admired not just his talent, but what he represented. For decades, he symbolized decency and integrity, someone above the political mudslinging. That illusion shattered the moment he joined in mocking and stereotyping MAGA supporters. This wasn't just a role, it was a statement. And it landed hard. No one is calling for his cancellation. That's not the point. This is about fairness, about honesty, and about acknowledging what we all saw.
Except, this is the big problem with that joke. President Trump assembled the largest coalition of black voters and Hispanic voters, and just kind of racially diverse voters generally, that any Republican has assembled in decades. Certainly in my lifetime. So that's the problem with the joke. It's not reflecting reality. And it's just so tired. The thing I really like about this sketch is it shows that Hollywood has learned nothing. I know that SNL is taped in New York, but the broader entertainment industry has learned absolutely nothing.
Trump supporters come from every background imaginable, different races, faiths, income levels, and life experiences. The outdated caricature of conservatives as a single, backward group no longer holds up. Meanwhile, the Republican Party has expanded, pulling in working-class voters, small business owners, Hispanic communities, and suburban families. Democrats, on the other hand, remain trapped in identity politics and elitist messaging. People are done being lectured. They want solutions, not moral posturing. And while the GOP isn't perfect, at least it's listening. The DNC is still shouting into its own echo chamber.
They think, wow, we just got our clocks cleaned. We lost an historic proportion of black voters, black male voters that we relied on, and Hispanic voters. We thought we could run really hard on the immigration issue, but it turns out almost half of Hispanics like Trump. We even lost a lot of young women under 30. Yikes. all right, let's just double down on exactly what we were doing. Republicans are racists. Actually, first we're going to make fun of Republicans being religious. We're going to make fun of Christians. That'll work. And then we're going to call our opponents racists. Because apparently the majority of Americans, including a lot of black and Hispanic people, are racists. Yeah, that's the ticket.
The Democratic National Committee is standing on the edge of a serious reckoning. Whether they admit it or not, the cracks are visible. Voters are tuning out the lectures, rejecting the stereotypes, and pushing back against the culture that mocks instead of listens. The question now isn't whether the backlash is coming, it's whether the DNC will adapt before it's too late.